Welcome to Dice Tower Live.
Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel, and welcome to September 4th, 2018 live Q&A. All right, it's Tuesday. Normally we do our live streamings on Monday, but hey, yesterday was Labor Day, so there's that. So, exciting things happening. First of all, in 1 hour or 59 minutes, according to my clock here, Dice Tower registration for Dice Tower West goes live. So DiceTowerWest.com. I don't expect it to be empty very long. So if you're going to come to Dice Tower West in Las Vegas, you definitely want to check that out. Registration today. Secondly, well, actually, that's all the announcements I had, I think. Got some different reviews coming up this week. Man, I am so far deep ahead of reviews. It's normally not like this, right? I'm playing games and then getting them reviewed, but I got 12 reviews I'm doing this week, and I have another 30 games that I'm ready to review, but I can only do so many reviews a week. So, but there's lots of cool things coming up and a few things that were not so cool, but mostly good stuff. There's one game that actually has gotten a good amount of buzz. I said I was very excited to play it, and I didn't like it, which was a surprise. And I think you will be surprised at what that game might be, although that will likely not be reviewed this week, but probably next week. Also, Saturday's my birthday. I'll be 42, so that's exciting. And then there's a gazillion non-Dice Tower things seeming to happen right now, so keeping track of all that stuff. So anyhow, I am going to be answering your questions, so if you have any questions, go ahead and type them in, and I will try to answer as many as I can, if possible. All right. Any interesting games played for Labor Day? We did a board game meetup yesterday at Labor Day. I didn't play too long. I about 8 hours of gaming, but that was a lot of gaming. So, what was the most interesting game I played yesterday? Probably Obsession. That's that. I just did an unboxing, I think went up this morning, of that game. Obsession is it's like a Jane Austen style game, but there's a lot going on, a lot of Euro-y aspects to it. All right. My birthday's during Dice Tower West. Great, and happy birthday everyone else. Okay, so one thing I want to point out is also I want to say thank you. One of the viewers sent me a book through Amazon. I didn't know you could do that, so they sent me a book to read, The Lost Fleet, the first book in that series, and I've already read the whole book. Really enjoyed it, and we'll probably at some point get the rest of the books in that series and read through them. So that's fantastic. Tom, is the big score and/or Obsession on the review schedule? Well, Obsession is now on the review schedule at some point. The big score, no, I haven't played that one yet. It's still over on my shelf. Again, I'm trying to get through these games as fast as I can, and I really am moving through them. But we'll get to them. What are your top 5 to 10 physical dice towers that you've seen or used? Oh, I don't know. There's a lot of cool ones. I just show them off. I don't know if I've ever made a top 10. Maybe I will someday. Would you back the English version of Awkward Guests on Kickstarter? Sure. I like Awkward Guests a lot. How long does it take me to update my top 100 list each year? A good amount of time. You hate it, Root? I can't believe it. No, I've already reviewed Root. That's not the game. All right. You once said that you watch a silly Korean TV show with your wife. That must have been a long time ago. I wouldn't remember what it was. Is chili soup? No, chili's in the soup family. Soup's like a big family, so chili's in there. But if someone said, I have soup, I would want them to clarify that it was chili, I think. But I don't really care that much. When a friendly local game store advertises a board game night, should it be a night where I can meet random people and play, or is it just a time and place to organize a game night with people you know? It can be both. And I mean, and some stores are different. It depends on how many people come out, right? Like when I scheduled the game day yesterday, I didn't expect a lot of people to come, and a lot of people didn't come. We had maybe 16 at the most at any given point, I think. But everyone was playing games, having a good time. Like on our Tuesday night meetup, there's usually 30 people or so, and it's a lot easier to jump into a random game. What are your feelings about going shopping on Labor Day? Well, I didn't, so I guess those are the feelings. Another good thing about today for me is I've hit 25 pounds lost. I'm excited about that. I can't really tell. Maybe you can't either. The camera adds 25 pounds is what I heard. And also, since I've started I think it's been a month now, walking 10,000 steps a day, I have not missed a single day. Some days I've gotten 10,005 steps in, but getting them in. On Saturday, I walked 30,000 steps. I was like, hey, I'm going to go out and walk some, see how far I can get. And 30,000 is a lot. I felt that at the end of the day. And it also took up a huge amount of time. But it still felt like a cool accomplishment. So, anyway. What's it going to take to get Dice Tower presents at a con in Australia? It's great down here. We have kangaroos. Wow. Yes, I'm sure, but we are going to be going to less cons. I keep saying this. I know people aren't necessarily excited to hear that, but it's just the fact of the matter. Next next year we have Dice Tower Cruise, Dice Tower West, Dice Tower Con, and probably 1 or 2 more Dice Tower retreats. That's all Dice Tower stuff that we'll be running. We're going to go to Gen Con in Essen and to Gamma, because Gamma piggybacks with Dice Tower West anyway. But really, that's all I can guarantee next year. We may go to other cons, but people always forget that when we go to a con, you still want to see our reviews, right? So if I go to a con for a week, that means the week before I need to record double the amount of stuff, and that can be very tiring and exhausting. We do have a new page on our website. If you go to dicetower.com, you can see all the conventions that are coming up that we will be at and who's going to be at which ones. How many games do you have in your own personal collection now? Well, that's actually changing dramatically. My personal collection is probably going to go down to 100 games at this point, and that's because I'm going to be donating a good chunk of my personal collection to the Dice Tower Library. We're building a new library for Dice Tower Cruise / Dice Tower Retreats, and I want it to be a really cool library with upgraded components and stuff. Well, that's my stuff. So that's what you're going to be seeing there. We're going to be putting that together. Me and Kenny are going to be working on that. Would you have any recommendations for a gaming group that really likes Sushi Go, but they want something less lighthearted? Well, happily, that's a convenient question, because today at 2 o'clock, which is a few hours from now, I will be posting my top 10 card drafting games. Any board game crossovers that you think would be interesting? I already had Dead of Winter Flick 'em Up, Between Two Cities, Castle of Mad King Ludwig. I don't know that I'm excited about crossovers in general. I don't see that. They're okay. It's not like I hate them, but I don't sit around going, I wish they would mix 2 games. That's not something I think is that exciting. Oh, people keep asking me about Starcadia Quest. I'm sure it's fantastic. I backed it myself, but I know nothing more about it other than it's upgraded Arcadia Quest. That's all I know. But I'm sure I'm going to get more questions. How tough is the security going to be at Dice Tower West? I'm nervous after the Madden event. Well, why? You cannot let fear rule your life that point. First of all, I don't think the Madden event and Dice Tower West are related in any way at all. And if anyone in our events has any sort of anger issues, we would ask them to leave as soon as we could. But I've never run into that at any board game convention, so I don't know why you would expect to see it at Dice Tower West as opposed to, say, Gen Con, Essen, and all these other things. But nah, I mean, there's going to be security, I guess, at the convention center to some degree, but you just can't live your life in fear. New to tabletop gaming, how do I prevent myself from having to build bookshelves in my house, as everyone in the hobby seems to have total overload? Well, a lot of people use shelves. I personally like the Calic shelves from IKEA, but all kinds of bookshelves work. You can use those cheapo shelves that you can just find at Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever. But you don't need to have a ton of shelves because you don't need to have a ton of games. What is the best time to introduce a games expansion to your group? When you want to. What does it matter? Sometimes I introduce, it all depends on the expansion too. Sometimes I introduce the expansion with the base game. Sometimes it's later. I don't know. Are there any games that you're hoping to receive as a gift for your birthday? Yes, 100% I'm hoping to receive 0 games for my birthday. Maybe a Switch game would be cool. But, I just thought about that. I haven't asked my family for anything. I don't often get gifts on my birthday. I don't know. I mean, the book was really cool. That was a neat thing. What do I need? I already have a great life. I've been very blessed. I don't know. I'm just not. I'm going to not eat my diet that day. So that's my gift to myself, maybe? I don't know. Howdy, Tom. Do your blank out of 10 ratings better reflect your own personal score for a game? Yes. That's the answer. Those are my scores. Nothing else. You said you bring Sarah Bria to the Labor Day meetup. Yeah, I did say that and I forgot. Sorry. Any chance it got played? No, it didn't. It's probably the bad game you're referring to. No, that's not the game I'm referring to. If you were to move to another state in the U.S., where would you go? Wherever. Are you working on making another board game? I am not currently, at this point in time, working on making another board game. I did design another board game last year. I showed it to a lot of publishers. Like 4 of them offered to publish it, and I didn't. I wasn't happy with it. So I just let it sit around and did nothing with it. Reading Steelheart right now, do you think The Reckoners hits its stride right from the beginning? I don't know. It would be hard for me to remember. He tends to make his books have spectacular endings, so I usually end up remembering the ending. Let's see here. Any promos at Essen given out for free? Maybe. I think someone made a geek list for that, but I'm not sure. Are you going to host the Wits and Wagers game show at Dice Tower West? Yes. Let's see here. What do you look for from contributors to Board Game Breakfast? I just tell people to send me an audition. I don't look for anything right now. I look for something unique and different. I'm very happy with Board Game Breakfast as it is, so I'm not actively looking for more contributors. I'm more actively looking for contributors to crowd surfing and shows like that, but that's about it. Origins is not currently on our 2019 schedule of shows that we're going to. In fact, I feel pretty confident we will not be going to it. Not for anything bad, just time. It just doesn't fit in. It's 2 weeks before Dice Tower Con, and we just find it problematic to fit it into our schedules. And a lot of the people that we see at Origins, we also see at Gen Con. Ooh, there's a grammar Nazi in the comments. Let's see here. Do you use cardboard coins if the game doesn't have metal upgrades, or do you use a different set of metal coins? It all depends. I like using cardboard coins, but I like metal coins way better. But I don't always go grab them and put them in the game. I've got an 11-year-old who's a bad rules lawyer. I don't know what you mean. You mean that they try to rules lawyer, but they can't do a very good job of it? How do you help to correct that? Yeah, or if they pull the rule book out every chance, I mean, that seems pretty obvious. I'd be like, you can't look at the rule book. I do that to an adult. If they keep grabbing the rule book and rules lawyering in the whole game, I'm like, all right, you're done. You can't touch the rule book anymore. If I do it to an adult, I'll do it to an 11-year-old. Oh, someone asked the same question. Are you going to be, am I excited for the Marvel Legendary Ant-Man expansion? Sure, I guess, maybe, I don't know. There's so much Marvel Legendary stuff that anytime they announce anything new, it's like Dice Masters. It's like, oh, that's cool, I guess I'm glad there's new stuff, but I'm not like dying for it because I have so much to play with now. Can I get your setup for the Charterstone recharge at Dice Tower West? No, I'm going to keep my own copy of Charterstone if that's okay. Oh, you mean you want to know what my setup is? I did a video on it. You can just look that up and it shows you what I did. Have you made plans for non-board game activities in Iceland? That's right, I'm going to be in Iceland in about 10 days. No, I haven't made any plans at all. I know the people who are bringing us in are doing some sort of tour with us, but that's the extent of what I know. Are you bringing key lime pies to Dice Tower West? No. Key lime pies is a Dice Tower retreat thing. Do you find it easier to rate on a 10-point scale rather than a 5-point scale? Yes, I do. I like 10-point scale a lot. Top 5 vegetables? I think I've already done that. Number 1's a potato. Even though I don't eat potato. Oh, no, you know what? No. I'm dropping potato to number 2. Number 1 for me is cauliflower. Cauliflower is my favorite vegetable. I love cauliflower. I don't know why. It's just fantastic. Potatoes number 2. Broccoli's number 3. Those are the top 3. Brussels sprouts are in the top 5 now probably. If they're made correctly, which is basically broiled or, not broiled, baked or grilled or whatever, the Brussels sprouts are amazing when you're doing that. So what would be the 5th one to round out my veggies? Maybe a radish? I do like radishes. I don't know what the 5th one would be, but it would make corn on the cob is pretty amazing when it's on the grill too. So maybe I'll say corn on the cob. What level of completion should you submit a board game to a producer? I emailed Rob Davio and he convinced me it was a better idea than Kickstarter. I agree. Because, as I said, I did a whole video on the subject, but if you have a completed game, why would you Kickstart it? I understand why Kickstarter happens, don't get me wrong. I think Kickstarter is fine. But if you are a designer, why are you publishing? Are you publishing because you want your game designed? What is your dream? That's the question I always ask people. Is your dream to be a publisher? Because 90% of the time it's not. And I've had people say, oh yes it is, but even then I almost feel like some of them are lying to me. Your dream was never to be a publisher. Your dream was to be a designer. And if your dream is to be a designer, why would you publish? See, most time people publish because no one else will take their game and publish it. And if that's true, it's probably not a good game. Sorry, that's just the fact of the matter. There's thousands of games, there's hundreds and hundreds of publishers, and if none of them are interested in your game, can't be that fantastic. Other people want to publish your game because they want complete 100% control over it, which for 19 people out of 20 is a bad idea because you need other eyes on it and you need things. And other people want to publish it because they want to make more money, and that will work. You will make more money if you publish your own game, but then you're going to be spending a whole lot more time doing all this other stuff instead of designing. So just finished Pandemic Legacy Season 1. Great game, great story. However, the story of Season 2 on the box doesn't match with Season 1 ending. Does it matter for the story at all? They do correlate. You do not need to have played Season 1 to understand Season 2, but they do. There is correlation between them, and I can't say more than that without being spoilers. Do you think the most recent Thomas Wrong segment on Board Game Breakfast was strange? Yes. Let's see here. Planning on my first Dice Tower Con next year. Would my 8-year-old need a badge if he is mainly going to hang out at the pool with my wife? Well, then he wouldn't need a badge because he's not going to be at the con. That's how that works. If you're not going to be at the con, you don't need a badge. If you're going to be at the con, you need a badge. I don't know any other way to do that. That's just how life works in general. So no, if you're not going to be at the con, you don't need a badge. Do you bring your own soap when traveling, or do you use the hotel soap? I bring my own shampoo, but I use the hotel soap. Just because I don't want to travel with my own soap in a thing, I guess. But I always bring my own shampoo because my shampoo, I feel like, is better than the hotel shampoo. Can I get you to autograph anything at Essen? If you guys want me to sign something at any convention, I will. I think it's weird because I don't think my signature means anything, but I will do it if people ask. Let's see. Have you tried California pizza crust? No, but I heard it's good. Sprouts cauliflower, that's like hearing you say that life is a great game. Oh no, man, cauliflower is great. It's so good for you, it tastes delicious. I can put all kinds of spices and hot sauces on it and it just enhances it. Roasted cauliflower, oh my goodness. And I've never thought that. My whole life I thought cauliflower was okay, but the way my wife makes it now is amazing. Will there be day passes? I'm assuming you're talking about Dice Tower West? No. And that's because, as you say, you don't want to take away from someone coming the whole time. We just can't do day passes. You can get a pass for the whole time. If you get a day pass, let's say, oh, I can only be there Thursday. Well, then we need to have a day pass for Friday and Saturday and Sunday to match that. You know, it just doesn't work for smaller conventions. Day passes only work for the bigger conventions. Let's see, any events in Eastern Europe I've lined up in the future? No, I don't, unfortunately. Publishers usually only care about money, though. Yeah, I agree on that. Publishers care about money. Why would you not want them to care about money? If they're not making a profit, they're not being a good publisher. And you say, well, if they only care about money. Okay, fine. Name a publisher who only cares about money. Every publisher I've met, even the biggest ones, they certainly care about money, but they also care about putting out fun games. You might say, well, look at these games they put out, they're derivative, but maybe they like those derivative games. Maybe they have a really good time playing those. Don't get me wrong, you guys know that I'm the first one in line to say if a game is garbage, I don't like it. I'm very vocal in my opinions on games I like or don't like. I am not vocal in my opinions on negative being publishers, though. Yeah, there's publishers out there making money because they want to make money, just like you want to make money. People want to make money, and to not want to make money means your publisher then is going to be gone in a very few years. And I've always found it kind of weird that people like, oh, a publisher wants to make money. Well, of course. If I had a game like Munchkin, I'd be putting out a new set every 3 months, because why not? I would also want to put out good, fun games that other people would play too. But if I liked Munchkin, I don't, but let's say I did, then I can't fault Steve Jackson for continually putting out new Munchkins. I might laugh and be like, yet another Munchkin. But why would they not do it? That always just seems odd to me. Loving Max vs. Minions, is it fun to continuously replay it again and again? I'm concerned that it's solvable as you get too good. Maybe, but there's 10 different or more scenarios in the game, and so each one is like a very different game. You can add more, you can make the game harder and stuff as it goes along, so I don't think it's that bad. Have you played the newest Terraforming Mars expansions, Prelude and Colonies? I don't think I played Colonies yet. Colonies isn't out yet. I played Prelude, and my review of Prelude is actually going up this week. If I sent you a prototype, would you play it? I'm glad that question was asked, because I'm going to be super clear on this. The answer is no, and that's with a capital N, capital O, exclamation point, underlined, all in bold, with stars. I do not play prototypes that are sent to me unsolicited, period. I don't send prototypes to me that are solicited. In fact, I tell people, please don't send me prototypes. Right now, we have hundreds and hundreds of unplayed published games on our shelves. We are barely getting to as many of those as we possibly can. We cannot do prototypes. So I highly recommend that you do not send them to us. I've gotten them in the mail before, and they just sit there. We don't play them. Let's see here. Have you ever tried to incorporate pricing into reviews? It seems like pricing has a big impact in deciding whether to purchase games, as well as component quality may be reviewed. Nope, we don't do pricing hardly ever. Occasionally we mention it. Like I remember when we mentioned Cthulhu Wars, we had to mention the price because it was a big expensive game. Sometimes it might come up, this game's expensive, this game's cheap, but for the most part we don't do it for a couple reasons. One, you might be watching a review in 3 years, and this definitely happens. Our reviews have a very long tail. People are constantly watching them years later. That price doesn't matter. It might be out of print now and very expensive on the secondary market. It might be super cheap and only $5. So, and price is relevant. The price was going to be, might be one thing on Amazon and cool stuff. It might be another thing at a store. It might not be available. And for you, $20 might be nothing. For someone else, $20 might be a lot of money. For you, $100 might be a lot of money. For someone else, $100 isn't much. So I don't bring pricing into games because it muddies the waters. What's the maximum amount you would pay for a particular game? However much I thought it was worth. And again, it falls along the same lines. There are games I have that I'm like, man, $20, that's not a very good game for $20. And there are other games I'm like, that's only $150? Wow, look what you get. It all depends. It's all very relevant. Pet peeve that nobody need care about. Any list titled Top 10 Worst Somethings is on a Top 10 list. It's a Bottom 10 list. Just needed to get that off my chest. You're right. How comes it seems like Z and Sam always do between 2 to 4 reviews a week where you do between 8 and 12? No, that's just how it works. I schedule myself 12 reviews a week. Sometimes it's a little less depending on the week and depending what's going on. Like this week I'm doing 12 reviews. Last week I did technically 11 reviews because I did Yell and Yangtze, but then I did a Yell and Yangtze comparison with Tigers and Euphrates, which I think is still like a review. So I try to do 12 a week. I don't always get 12 a week in, but I try. What's the best convention to take my wife if only I like to play games but also want to do other things together? Dice Tower Cruise, hands down. Did you get Too Many Bones Under Toe? No, we did not get that game. What's your opinion about the metagaming craze? I don't know what that means. What's a metagaming craze? Heard you are revisiting games of 2008. How does the hobby then compare to where it is today? Yeah, our top 10 games of 2008 is coming out this week. Oh man, the hobby was very different in 2008, but at the same time there's a lot of stuff that started in 2008. I was very surprised at a lot of the games that came out in 2008. Kickstarter's way more of a thing, and obviously in 2018. We'll see. I'll be curious what we'll be doing in 2028. Do you even remember all the rules for all these games? No. Any recommendations on getting an introverted spouse to go to Dice Tower West? I don't know. If someone doesn't want to do something, I usually don't try to persuade them to do it. Maybe my kids, I try to push my kids into doing things, but other than that, Dice Tower West is going to be super friendly. It's easy to get in the game. You'll just, have a players want it sign or a teachers want it sign, and you have people come over and play with you. But if you feel like it's overwhelming, you don't have to do it. I mean, I don't know that I would push someone to do it. Have you ever felt pressured by a publisher to review a game positively? Well, I'm sure that's happened, but we don't give in to that pressure. They all want us to review the games positively. Some of them will hand me a game and they'll be like, listen, I want an honest review. I don't care if it's bad. I just want an honest review. No, they want a positive review. But, Let's see here. Boy, a lot of these questions I get all the time. So some of these questions, if I'm skipping them, I apologize. I just get asked them all the time, so I try to pick different ones for different things. Sometimes I go back and answer a question I've answered before. Let's see. Did you see the Meg yet? And if so, what'd you think? It was okay. I did see it. Who did I take with me? I think I took Melody with me. We went and saw it. It was fine. It was a silly movie. It was a big shark. You know, I like big giant monster movie type things like that. You know, I don't like little monster movies like the scary thing that's coming under your bed, but the big giant monster movies, Godzilla and stuff, I like those. It was fine. I thought it had a few too many jump scares. After a while, it's kind of like, all right, jump scare's about to happen. Boom. All right, hang on. Here comes another jump scare. There was just a lot of those. Woo, did I catch up on questions? Pretty nifty. Do you see a problem with a lot of single-play campaign games coming out? I do not. I like playing them. If a publisher doesn't get a good review, what do they do? Do they call you or send a letter trying to justify what they did do? When I don't understand what you're saying there exactly, but what do publishers do when I don't give them a good review? Sometimes they send me very nasty emails. Sometimes they say, they're not very usually nasty in person, they're more sad in person. And sometimes they good-naturedly will argue with me, but for the most part, sometimes they write me an email thanking me for the review. You know, it's all very, very different. What are the questions you get asked the most of my Q&As? I get asked, since I review games all the time, is it still fun for me? Do I ever play games for fun? And my answer always is, playing games to review is fun for me. Otherwise, my job would be horrific. I get asked, is this game better than this game? And what theme do you wish was in a board game? I'm not answering that one like ever for like a year now. Do you have a favorite gangster? Nothing personal? Yeah, mine. I like the guy who can just like basically blow himself up, or I think that sort of thing is funny. Like a guy who, I wanted to play a character who you knew people would go after and make sure, like I wanted my character to die in every game. I just thought that would be as funny. I never wanted my character to be like really good. Have you played Artemis, the video game? Yeah, I really like it. It's a lot of fun. Would you prefer cooperative board games to be really hard or easy? That's a good question. Like, I mean, where do you want your co-op games to sit at? I would want my cooperative board games, I think, to be maybe slightly harder, but not so overwhelmingly hard. I need to feel like I could win. But like I just recently played a cooperative game that was extremely hard. And we finally beat it, and it felt satisfying, but not that satisfying. Then I played the Reckoners, which was really hard, and when I beat it, it felt so satisfying, but the journey was so much fun. If a game's really hard and the journey is not that much fun either, or it feels like you're winning and all of a sudden you just get slapped around a little bit, I don't know. It all depends for each game. Is the viticulture visitor the architect supposed to be you? I don't think so. I don't know what that looks like. All right, I'll pull it up. I'll pull it up online. Viticulture, the architect. I doubt it. I don't think that's me. No, it's probably someone else. I don't think so. Is there anyone in your immediate family who doesn't like gaming? Yeah, several of my kids aren't huge fans of it. Have you ever tried Mario Maker or tried making a level for it? No, which is really weird because when I was a kid, I used to draw out whole Mario levels. I would draw out the whole level. And you think I would play Mario Maker, I just never got around to getting it. I don't get many video games. That's what it is, and I don't play them a ton. Have you ever played Commander Keen? I have. In fact, a few weeks ago, well, maybe it was a few months ago. Time blurs together. But I went and found a place you can play it online. And it's super hard. I forgot how hard Commander Keen was. But it really brought back a lot of memories. That was a lot of fun. Will the Podfather be at Dice Tower West? I'm not quite sure who you're referring to because I don't know anyone in existence who would be, quote, the Podfather, unless you want to talk about Scott Alden or not Scott Nicholson, Mark Johnson. Those are the guys who started the first podcast and who I would call maybe Podfather, since they got a lot of other people into podcasting. A lot of people got into podcasting because of that, because those people maybe you could call the Podfather. But I would not, for example, let's say some Yahoo started their own podcast and basically just showed up on a lot of other people's podcasts and just started shooting off Yahoo stuff. I wouldn't consider that person to be a Podfather. Let's say that person was somebody who just like wanted to be because I might have some Italian heritage, I'm going to act all mafia, except if someone did shake a fist at me, I'd run really fast in the other direction. I wouldn't call that person a father at all. I think it's a stupid name, and I wouldn't use that, so I don't know what you're talking about. So I'm going to have to go with no? I don't know. Let's see here. If after negative reviewing a game, has that publisher stopped sending you future games to review? That's happened several times. There's one company in particular that stopped sending us games for several years. Then they had some leadership change. They started sending them to us again. But when that happens, you know, what can we do? Sometimes I'll get the games through other means, right, if I want to really review them. And other times I'm like, well, I got a lot of other games to review. That's their prerogative. They don't have to send us games. I don't hold a grudge against them. You know, they can do what they want. How much clout power do you think YouTube reviewers have in the industry? I don't think we have a lot of clout. I mean, I won't be falsely modest. I think that people do buy games based on our reviews or don't buy games, but I don't think we have a ton of clout in the industry. And I was told last year very strongly, it was a year ago this happened, very strongly a year ago we were told that if the Dice Tower disappeared, no one would even notice, several people said. So there you go. Would you want a Descent 3rd edition? Yeah, as long as the stuff from all those miniatures I have for 2nd edition would work with it. Commander Keen was a prototype to bring Mario to PC. Nintendo turned it down. Have you ever played Day of the Tentacle? Man, I'm really struggling to remember if I played Day of the Tentacle. I don't remember. I know I played Sam & Max, and I played the one with the guy in a motorcycle. I can't remember what that one was called. I like the point-and-click adventures. The one that stuck with me the most was King Arthur and his Knight one that I played way back in the day. That one was a lot of fun. Is there a review of Forbidden Sky coming? Sure, there's a review of lots of things coming. How has Melody settled into school? She seems to be fine. She's been in school now for, like, today is 1 week since she started classes, so she seems to be doing okay. I talked to her briefly yesterday. Everything seems to be going great. When's the next live 24-hour gaming session? Oh, actually, I have that on my schedule now. It's in November. But we're going to be doing it differently than we've done previous ones, and I'll explain the differences as time goes by. One of the biggest differences, we're going to do it right here. So because we're doing it here, it's going to change some of how it works. We're just having a hard time fitting it in our schedule, but we're going to do it here. Do you play Super Smash Brothers? The new version for the Switch is going to have 10 new characters from the Bible? I don't think that's true. That sounds like a joke. Full Throttle, that's the guy with the motorcycle. Yeah, that one I played. Although for the life of me, I wouldn't remember anything about it. I don't even remember much about the Sam and Max game, except when they were at the Mount Rushmore. He did the bye, fo bye, banana, fana, fo fi. I remember that part. I don't remember much else about these games because it's been 20 years since I played them. The top 3 strangest movies you've watched. Oh, I've seen some really... I've seen Eraserhead was a really strange movie. And I watched it because someone's like, hey, this is a really strange movie. And I was like, yeah, you're right. I don't even know what it was about. I saw a strange cartoon on YouTube once, and I've been trying to find it again. It was basically about, I think, a giant rabbit and someone else, and they were like in a backyard, and really weird things, like they jumped through time. It was a really weird cartoon, like really weird. I want to say maybe it was from Japan, I'm not sure. But I don't know enough about it. I just remember thinking, oh, that's really weird. They did some hilarious stuff to each other, and I would have liked to see it again, but I can't remember what it's called. Do you have a Steam account? I do have a Steam account. Can I gift you a copy of Dot? Is that Day of the Tentacle? Well, you could. I don't play Steam a ton, though. I mostly... I mean, I don't want to... Mostly, I don't play Steam at all. I use it occasionally. I mostly play games on my Switch and or iPad at this point in time. And even then, I don't play a ton. I do a lot more reading and other things like that. Hey, Tom, you seem a little grouchy today. Is that the case? Oh, no, I apologize if I come across that way. No, I'm feeling really, really great, actually. I get very involved and enthused about questions, so if I come across as grouchy, I apologize. If I think a question deserves a grouchy answer, I might do that. I don't mean that I'm grouchy, I guess. Hang on a second. I'll drink some more. Favorite home-cooked meals? Spaghetti pie, for sure. If you never had spaghetti pie, it's amazing. My mom made it, and happily, before she died, she gave the recipe to my wife, so my wife makes it now. But spaghetti pie is fantastic. You make a crust out of spaghetti, so it's like thicker, you use some egg. I don't actually know how my wife makes it. But there's like a crust, and then you fill it. It's like, it almost tastes like cheap lasagna to some degree. There's a lot of cheese involved and everything. It is amazing. I love it. Other favorite, tater tot casserole, meatloaf. My wife makes really good meatloaf, and cauliflower. Those are things that I always look forward to. Ham and sauerkraut. I haven't had that one in ages. Let's see. Is Jason really that good? Any definitive reason why? No, wait, some people are really good at being able to read games and figure them out. Jason's really good at that. I feel exceptionally happy when I beat him at a game. I beat him at 2 games yesterday, I think. But for the most part, he whoops up on me. But I don't mind that. But sometimes he's so far ahead, we're like, okay, yeah, you won by a mile. How difficult is it to get the intellectual rights for a franchise to theme your board game with? Don't even try. No, get a publisher and let them handle that. But I wouldn't even try it. Getting an IP is a very difficult, expensive process. Have you played the Mistborn game yet? Yeah, I reviewed that one. Right? Mistborn. Yeah, I reviewed the Mistborn game. Hardest part arranging a convention? Just scheduling. It's really hard to schedule everything so that it doesn't cross everything else. That may not be the hardest part. I guess just making a deal with the hotel. People don't realize how expensive conventions can be. They also don't realize how important it is. Most conventions are at a hotel. They're not at it. The big ones are at a convention center like Essen and Gen Con and Essen and Origins. But most conventions are at a hotel. You have to make a deal with that hotel, and you have to make a deal with that hotel that works out in your favor. Like we're running Dice Tower Retreat, and we charge people money to come to this retreat. We worked with the hotels to get people to come in, and I am barely making anything on these Dice Tower Retreats because my contract with the hotel was not as good as it could have been. Kenny will help me make a better one next year. But yeah, so sometimes, and that I would guess would be the hardest part. What did Chief Sokodoa do over Labor Day weekend? Were we in contact? Okay, well, before Labor Day weekend, he came by to say happy birthday. We went to my birthday and celebrated it, so that's why I'm not so concerned about this stuff. But then we went back. I briefly had to help babysit a Wafmok because he was out with the parents on a mission. It was in the 7th Peloponnesian Interstellar Dreg War, and there was something going on. There was a battleship that had a engine that could only be powered by Vwap juice, and Vwap juice you had to get from Gaia 694. In another dimension, there was just so much involved. So I had to do this little bit of babysitting for the creature, which wasn't too hard. I just hired a bunch of Fwoops, and the Fwoops took care of it for the most part. And mostly they just wanted to watch interdimensional TV, so it wasn't really a big deal. But that did take up a part of my weekend, except not because of the time changes and stuff. So. Have you read the King Killer books? Yes. If so, do you think Rothfuss will ever release book 3? I guess. I don't know. I'm almost at a point now where I don't want to start reading a book series until I know that it's finished because of that. I think Rothfuss and George R. R. Martin I think are the worst. I mean, everyone made fun of Robert Jordan, but he did come out with books and he died, but Brandon Sanderson finished those. I mean, the books came out, they finished. The George R. R. Martin seems to take longer between each books and all, but whatever. I don't get too upset about it. I just go find a different series of books to read. Thanks for working. Oh, well, my pleasure. How is Chief Sokotoa dealing with Melody leaving for college? They've never met. Does he answer game-related questions? Yeah, sometimes. My mom would wrap broccoli in the meatloaf. Do you wrap cauliflower meatloaf? No, I like cauliflower by itself for the most part with some spices. What's my favorite color hat? Red, but I'm still trying to find a green one. I want like a bright green, not a like grass green fedora. I haven't been able to find one. I have some olive one. I have an olive one, but I want a green one. Are we in need of a good G.I. Joe themed game? Sure, I would love to see a great G.I. Joe themed game. Was the cartoon with the rabbit not Wreck-It Rabbit? I don't know. Let me look. No, that's not it. It was more of a 3D. It was a 3D animated type thing. I just remember being really weird. Do you have internet costs when you stream live events like these Q&As? Well, I have internet costs whether I stream or not. So the internet's one of the most expensive things we have here at the Dice Tower. But yeah, we do it. Birthday cake or birthday pie? Well, that's true. I should go get a key lime pie for my birthday. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. Will you be attending Grand Con again this year? No, but again, we have a new web page on our website where you can go see who is attending each con, so you can just go check that out. Eric, Summerer, and Mandy are going to be at Grand Con, I think. Who is Chief Sokotoa? Sir, Chief Sokotoa is the unsung hero. Chief Sokotoa has saved your lives more times than you know are possible. He's easily the most famous hero of the Tarakamakaman Wars, of the Volusian Wars, the Pinamamankan conflict, the border dispute between Svath and Momb, and all 10 of the Galactic Wars, I would say so. Yeah, he's a huge hero. Doesn't want really people to treat him like that, but I will, because it matters. All right, 10 minutes of Dice Tower West launch. Indeed. Thoughts on other authors finishing a dead author's work? I'm okay with it, because I would like to see the end of the story. Couldn't you bleach a hat you like, then dye it your preferred color? That sounds like an awful idea. I don't think that would work at all, would it? I wouldn't try it. Did you read Wheel of Time? If so, I salute you if you managed to trudge through book 10. Love the series, but that book was a shocker. I don't even remember what happened in book 10. I read all the books. Was book 10 the last one Jordan wrote, or was 9 the last one he wrote? But yeah. What is something you wish gamers knew because there's such a wrong preconceived notion? Well, I wish gamers would realize how small publishers are. People think publishers are these huge things. People think that, there's probably 80,000 copies of a game at any given point, when most games get 5,000 or less copies out there. Most publishers are really small, just a few people working, and people think they're these huge mega corporations, and they're not. I keep telling people that, and I don't think people actually believe it. Do you think Puerto Rico's played out? No, I still have it, and I really like it. Have all possible game mechanisms already been invented? No. Will Chief Sokotoa be in Infinity War 2? Infinity War 2 is not real. It's a movie. Wizard of Oz theme game. There's a few out there. Actually, I really like the Wizard of Oz Unlock game. I thought that was a fun theming of it. Whew, I am keeping up with the questions today. Doo-ba-da boo-ba-ba-ba-doo-ba. Doo-ba, 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 doo. Are you planning on playing Brother of the Coast, or are you done with Time Stories at this point? No, we're going to play it at some point. Well, I'm not as excited as I used to be. I heard good things about Brotherhood of the Coast, but Time Stories has dropped for me some over the time, and I would like to play it. I need to get around to it. Are you still playing Reckoners? No, I'm actually doing a Q&A right now. If you mean, do I still play it? Yes, but this is a tough question that people ask all the time. You're like, well, are you still playing this game? Yes, but you have to realize that I have hundreds of games in my own collection, although it's going to drop soon. But there's tons and tons of games, and I'm always playing new ones, so I don't get to go back and play old ones very often. Let's see. Your meanest game, in my opinion? Well, we've done a top 10 mean games, or top 10 games that make people angry. Go check those out. There's some doozies in that one. What is the best game of 2000 to 2010? I don't know. I've done a top 10 list, I think, for all those years, so you could probably just go through those. But I'm sure there's a fantastic one that came out in that period. I just wouldn't know what it was off the top of my head. What's a mechanism that's fallen out of favor you'd like to see come back, like the recent influx of roll and write? Roll and write is definitely the hot thing right now, right? I don't know. I don't know that I still would like to see more I split, you choose mechanisms used in the game. They're not used very often. Like, there's something and here's a bunch of pieces. I split them into groups and then everyone else picks one of those groups. I love that, and a lot of people don't use it very often. Is there anything you're particularly looking forward to at Essen this year? Nope, not yet. I have not even looked at the Essen list yet, because Essen is still a month and a half or more away, and there's a lot of other things happening before then. Right now, my whole focus is I'm going to Iceland in a couple weeks. I have to get ready for Dice Tower Retreat and Dice Tower Cruise, so we're working on both of those. And PAX and Essen travel plans, but those are all taken care of now. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. Strawberry or pineapple? If I'm just eating it, pineapple. Fresh pineapple, especially. Fresh pineapple is amazing. For a drink, well, pineapple still probably wins. For flavors of cake, probably strawberry. What is your favorite gear lock from Too Many Bones? The one who throws bombs, I think, maybe. When Chief Sokoto was born, he drove his mom home from the hospital. Well, that's not quite how it worked. When Chief Sokoto was born, no, he didn't drive his mom home from the hospital when he was born. But he did drive his mom home from the hospital. It's a really weird thing because one of the alien races, the Zwa, they sent people back in time to take out Chief Sokoto when he was born, but Chief Sokoto also went back and drove his mom didn't know it was him, obviously, because he looked way different, but he drove his family home. They actually, as far as I can tell, Cameron based the Terminator movie slightly on this whole scenario. Will I be doing a church service event at Dice Tower Con West? Yeah, I think so. A small one. How hard is it to get on the Dice Tower cruise? It's very difficult at this point. We have a waiting list of, I think, 50 people, so you can go there and get on the waiting list. We will be announcing the next one eventually, but right now, just for now, it's very difficult to get on this one, and I'm sorry about that. Would you do a top 10 unsung heroes of the hobby? Oh, that's an interesting one. Yeah, maybe I'll do that sometime. I mean, generic, yeah, it's an interesting top 10. I wouldn't mind doing something like that. Does your hotel at Essen have a gaming room? Do you play there? Can we come play as well? Well, we're staying at the Atlantic. I think there's gaming there in the main lobby and stuff. So, yes, but I don't know when we'll be there, how long we'll be there, etc. Do I think Bigfoot is actually real? No, I know he's not. Let's see. If the only game you had access to was bad, would you rather play that or find something else to do? I would find something else to do. I don't play a bad board game just because it's a bad game. How many alien races is out there? Oh, probably 23,647. I'm not quite sure at any given point. Any thoughts on games played with or by baking edible components? Well, it sounds like a one-time fun experience. I saw a big Settlers of Catan one time that was all made of baked goods. That looked fun. Why live crowdfunding video? Oh, yeah. I want to try it out. So it's a prequel to other stuff we're going to do. Hopefully, we're going to try it tomorrow, so come back tomorrow. We'll be doing a live crowd surfing video, so I'll be doing it here, and we'll have all the contributors and things like that. We just thought it would be something interesting to try out, the whole live thing. That way I could respond to you guys and maybe look at your comments while I'm looking at this sort of thing. I don't know. I thought it sounded fun. What do you enjoy about Thunderstone Quest versus other deck builders? I like the fact that it's basically a dungeon crawl in a card game, and it's really, really fun. How could you know Bigfoot's not real? Have you gone through every forest in the world? No, but Chief Sokoto told me he's not real, and the guy usually does not lie to me. Are you looking forward to the new Azul? Sure, it sounds fun. Hey, 1 minute to Dice Tower West. Let's open up that web page and look at it. I don't think there's a tracker here of how many people are coming, so we'll have to wait and see. Registration opens. Well, I guess it's open now. I'm not sure where, though. Register today. Well, still not open. Maybe I need to refresh Dice Tower West. Well, I'm sure it will open any second now, or minute, I hope. Okay, so anyhow. That's it. That's all the questions I'm answering right now, guys. I appreciate it, all the stuff. So I want to thank you all for watching the video today, the live Q&A. We'll be back tomorrow for a live crowd surfing. That should be interesting. I'm going to go back to reviewing a game that has pieces that look like this. That's hard to see in the video, right? Also has pieces that look like this. What game is this? Also has hexes that look like this. So I'm going to finish reviewing that game. I got some other games to review. Got lots to do. Thanks, guys, for watching. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel. You've been watching the Dice Tower. See you next time. I still haven't got a copy of the new expansion, Onitama. I'd like to review that. Are you serious? Get your tickets for Dice Tower West already. Why are you watching me work? DicetowerWest.com.